Hi Year 6 and welcome to a new day's maths home learning. And yesterday we learned all about circles. We learned about the different parts of circles. And we sort of done that in, preparation for today's learning. And we're going to be learning about pie charts. Can we read and interpret pie charts? And so here below you can see a pie chart. And you can see actually that so many of the class in blue, like football, which is actually half the class because it's half our pie chart. Some of the class like running, which is in orange. Some of the class like reading, which is in grey, and some of the class like badminton, which is in yellow. And my first question is, how many people in the class like football the most? Well, we can see here that this pie chart is out of 30 children in Year 6. And then shaded in blue is exactly half of the pie chart. And I'm actually going to draw a line to show you that. So we can see here that actually half of the pie chart is shaded in blue. So then trying to work out, well, actually half of the children like football the most. So what's half of 30? Well, to half something we know we do 30 divided by 2. So we do 30 divided by 2, and the answer is going to be 15. Because half of the pie chart, or half of 30, is 15. So 15 children like football the most. And then it says, well, how many children like badminton the most? And if we're thinking about that, we need to try and think about, well, actually, how much of the pie chart here is shaded in yellow? And to work that out, we really need to work out how many sections we're going to have. So I'm going to cut my pie chart up into sections. And if I do that, and I draw along these lines here, we actually work out that if we're cutting it into the same size sections, my pie chart is made up of 6 sections. And I've drawn them here, and you can see them. So a half of my pie chart is made up of blue sections, and that's 3 out of my 6 sections. And then 4, 5 and 6 here show that actually 1/6 of the children, or 1/6 of the children here, like badminton the most. And we can see that in the area I've just shaded there. So 1/6 of the children like badminton the most. So then how are we going to work out 1/6 of 30? Well, 1/6 of 30 is like doing 30 divided by 6. Because we divide by the denominator. So 30 divided into 6 groups equals 5. So I'm going to have 5 children who like badminton the most. And that brings us on to our next chart. And this pie chart measures children's favourite fruit in a class of 32. And this pie chart has been split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. So this pie chart's been split into 8 sections. And my question is, how many of the children, or what does each section in your pie chart equal? So if we're trying to work out what one of the 8 sections equals, then we need to divide the 32 by our 8 sections. So 32 divided by 8 is going to equal 4. So 32 into 8 groups equals 4. So each section equals 4. And to show you that, I'm just going to draw all this. So each shaded section, like this one in red here, is equal to 4. So then if we're trying to work out bananas, it would be 1, 2, 3 sections. And 3 lots of 4 would equal 12. So that would be like trying to work out how many bananas there are. Because we know there's 3 sections for bananas, 1, 2, 3, and in each section there are 4, so 4 times 3 is 12. However, if we're just trying to work out oranges, we know it's just the 1 section in orange here, one of our 8 sections in orange, and that would just equal 4. So each section is equal to 4, isn't it? Each section would equal 4 because we divided our 32, which was the amount of people in the class here, 32, and we divided our 32 by 8, the amount of sections we could count. And then finally we're looking at this. So we know that each section's worth 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we know each section's worth 4 because we've done 32 divided by 8. And then we need to try and work out, well, actually how many bananas there are the most. So we're not looking at one of the sections, which equals 4, but we're looking at these 3 sections. So we have to do, as I said a minute ago, 3 times 4. And 3 times 4 equals 12, because we've got 3 sections we're trying to look at, so 3 lots of 4. And then how many of the glass like apples? So here, well, we've actually got, and I'm going to do that apples in green, because apples are green. So my green line here is we've got 2 sections. So I'm going to do, well, how many were in each section again? That's right, 4. So how many sections do I have? 1, 2. So I'm doing 2 times 4. And that is equal to 8. So 8 people in the class, down here, liked apples the most. And 12 liked bananas the most. So what you've got to do today is you've got to go away and you've got to split your charts into sections. Split your pie charts into sections. And here's one last one. And here we can see that a bag contains red, yellow and blue counters. And the pie chart shows the proportion of counters for each colour. So here it says there are 60 counters in the bag. So how many counters are in the whole bag? Well, we can see here that how many sections are coloured in yellow? 3. 3 sections out of a possible 6, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 sections out of 6 equals 60. 3 sections out of our 6 sections equals 60. So what do you think the yellow counters are actually equal to? They're equal to 1/2. So if 1/2 equals 60, how many halves are going to make the whole? Well, that's right. If 1/2 equals 60, then the whole is going to equal 120. And another way we could have worked that out is we could have divided our 60. We could have divided our 60 by 3, because we could have divided our 60 counters, our 60 yellow counters, which it says here, by our 3 sections, and we would have found 20. And then I could have times, if I know then that 1 to find what 1 section equals, that would have found what 1 section equals. And then I could have times my 20 by 6 to find out my whole, which would have equaled 120. So what you need to do today is you need to go away and you need to have a go at finding out and working out what each section of the pie chart is showing us, and if you can read and interpret each of the pie chart's data. Good luck. Make sure to upload your work to Class Dojo.